how's it going? This is the 29th of February. Huh, thought it was the 1st. It's Thursday, the 29th of February, the last day. I think it's a leap year, dude. It's a leap year day. February only has 28 days normally. Leap year, okay. So whoever gets born today, dude, they get to grow 4 times slower so they can live 400 years. They can get to watch Captain Kirk and Spock and all that stuff. Star Wars, maybe. Doc Brown may pop up there. Anyways, it's like cold for day. I got up yesterday relatively early. Yeah, I did my vlog. I got up at 7, yeah. And I was working till 4 in the morning, so I didn't care about trying to stay diurnal. That's why I got up late, 12:30. Yesterday I worked until like at 7, just organizing my apartment. I went into the deck and I did my deck. I took everything apart and looked at everything and consolidated everything in 4-cup Tupperware. I can stick 10 4-cup Tupperwares inside of my toolbox. They fit in perfectly. So that's 25 cups. And then I can put some like long screwdrivers and things along the side. So anyway, yeah, I didn't clean my place, the floor or anything. I swept it, but I didn't mop. So by 7 at night, I was like, oh, wow, look at that. I'm actually done with my house, you know. My mom, in the morning, I was going to go with my mom to pick up the Medicaid application. I'm going to see if I get on Medicaid. You can make up to $5,000 a month. I don't make anywhere near that, and still get Medicaid if you can get on like mental disability. And I got a diagnosis for Asperger's back in 2015 when I was on actual Medicaid for my DUI for weed that I got. So I'm going to turn that in, see if it can hook me up with some Medicaid. That'd be pretty badass. I got rejected for my loan, which I knew they were going to do, because they were like, I need continuance. I'm like, you need continuance? That's the funniest thing ever. Continuance? With the way I make money? Dude, if there's no continuance, I ain't the only one who's fucked. We're all fucked. So these people, they don't know what they're doing. So why don't you look at my website? Get some continuance out of that. Diddle yourself to my website, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. Whatever. That's what happens when you're only one in the world with a website. There's this story, like when the Spanish went to South America and they were coming in with all their boats. Like none of the natives reacted to them as they were coming up on the shore. Because they'd never seen a big ass boat before. They didn't know they were looking at a boat. They thought that those were like just islands that had always been there. They didn't, and then the boat landed and they're like, wait, what? And that's kind of like how I feel with the website. Like nobody, I'm the only one in the world with an actual website. So when they see my website, it doesn't register at all. They're just like, oh, web page. And then they kind of move on. It ain't no web page. It's a website. So anyway, yeah, because when I look at the front page of my website, it has like 5,592 visitors. But then you click on the education page, which is the actual website with all the interesting stuff, not even to mention the sports. All you have to do is one click. It's got like 500 hits. So only 1/10 of the people who go to my website even bother to click anywhere, which makes 0 sense to me, man. I do not even get that. Like if I meet somebody in the goddamn line in front of me at the gas station and I accidentally look at the front and last name of their driver's license as they're giving it to the teller, I will Google that motherfucker. And if they have a website, I'll click on like 50 pages. It's just how I am. I don't get it, man. Whatever. Anyway, so basically, what I'm gonna do is at 1:30 in about an hour, I'm gonna go back there and pick up my paperwork because I give them all this paperwork. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go over and give it to my own bank. I only applied to this credit union because it was 1 block from my house. It was my mom's idea. So yeah, my own bank that we've banked for 40 years, we'll just give it to them. They've got their continuance. All they have to do is look in the records and they'll see continuance. It's only $25,000 I'm asking for. I make like $50,000 a year, have a $380,000 apartment, and I'm just about to make a bunch of money with my own website and my YouTube, and I have a badass website and nobody wants to help me. Kind of reminds me of school. Like this is school in real life. Like I just failed the class. I failed the economics class. Why? Who knows? Doesn't make any sense, man. This world makes no sense. You could look at my website. Oh, right. There are no websites, including mine. Anyway, so I'm going to... so for money, what I'm going to do, apart from trying to get that loan from Vector Bank, is I'm going to... I was working not until 4, just in the house. Then later on the house, I was working on trying to figure out my studio. I finally got going on the studio. I was done with the house, and now it's time to do studio. And I remember telling myself, when I first started all this renovation last month or whatever, I was like, I just expect a week. Expect 1 week on that studio to get that studio going. I decided to buy another 5-foot HDMI, USB cable for the powering of the video. See, I'm using a camera just like that camera. I think I have like 8 cameras to spread all over the house. I have one of those. It's a Sony camcorder, and you see how it's on? It's because it's plugged up. That's the power right there with the USB cable, and that's where it connects to my switcher, to my studio. So because they're always plugged up, I don't ever, because these things run out of juice so freaking fast. Like I'd never be able to film myself. I'd be charging these bitches all the time. Like if I were to talk on here, I'd talk for maybe an hour and it could go from completely full to completely empty. So anyway, as I was diddling with my thing, I was on the computer and I noticed, because I had to order that USB cable. So I saw some offer for a credit card, so I applied for a credit card, I guess, and I can even buy stuff starting now and I get it in the mail. The problem is it's 30% credit card. So I need to read, what the fuck? Like, does the interest kick in later? Because if the interest kicks in later, I can do a Ponzi scheme with myself, with all of my 5 credit cards, until I can get somebody to acknowledge that I have a website in this fucked up world. Actually, I'm not blaming anybody. I just woke up. I should not blame anybody for not hooking me up with money until I'm taking the test, dude. And then I have to specifically ask for money from an educational foundation. I can't just go up on like the 8 different money-making sites. I made $10 on one of those. I looked on one of the sites when I first put it up last year or whatever. Somebody gave me $10. That's pretty cool. I'll see if I can access that. But it's I'm not just gonna put describe what I'm doing and ask money from just any random people, because random people don't give a fucking shit about education. We're trained to not care about education. We're trained to judge people based on A to B, but then you translate that into something else once you get out of school, because we don't actually grade people in the real life. So oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought. So people, so what I'm going to do is ask money for the educational foundations, because that's very specific to what I'm doing. It's all education. So I'll be like, And I'm not even going to ask for money. I'm going to be like, you motherfuckers, give me my money. I'm the only thing around, bitches. And if they don't, I'll be like, ugh. You know what I mean? I'll just ask for money from all those dudes. I think I even have a list of educational foundations on my funding site on my site. But I can't do that until I take the test. You know? Because that's my whole philosophy with education, man. Why should anybody listen to you if you're not doing it yourself? So I need to do it myself. But I can't do it myself until I figure out how this studio. So, hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that when I get my check this month, in a couple days, that it'll be enough money, because I'm $800 over on one of my credit cards. It'll be enough money to pay my credit cards down, and then pay the minimum, and then I still have money left over. Because if not, see, if you start missing credit card payments, that's where it's over. That's where you lose. That's where the boat goes under the water. So we'll find out if I can do that. And if I can do that, it doesn't matter if I don't have any money left, because then I can just live off of this new credit card that I got. And obviously, if worse comes to worse, I can run around and look for a job. But that will fucking destroy my soul if I do that, because there goes my time. You know? Like, my time to me, if I could get a job for 10, 15 bucks an hour, that's shit compared to, like, my time for me is worth like $1 million an hour, you know? Because as soon as I set up my apartment, boom, my studio, boom. No money problems, as far as I'm concerned. So, the way I'm gonna take the test, I've explained it to before, I don't need to explain it again. I don't really care how well I do. I took my random generator, my 20th century random generator test, random number generator test, one time for an hour, and I was going to upload it on YouTube. I took the whole test, and I did really, really bad. I was like, oh my God. But then I went to upload it on one of these computers, these videos. The goddamn video camera wasn't recording. I don't know what happened. Maybe when I hit the button, my finger did one of those, like, and I hit it twice when I thought I hit it once. And somehow I didn't notice that it wasn't recording. Maybe I was recording it with my cell phone. I don't know what happened, but I just didn't notice. I was like, what the fuck? Wasn't recording. And then I never got around to doing it again. So as soon as I get around to it, like as quickly as I can, because I'm running out of goddamn time. Yeah, nobody wants to move in with me, so I reduced the rent again, down to $900. Only one person commented on my ad, and they said, wow, capital words. So, you know, those one of those words, wow, crazy, weird, like you can take as a compliment or an insult. So whatever, I don't know, man. I need a roommate, need money. I need to live in a world where there's other people like me. I can't be an outlier, or else I'll run out of money. So, but, you know, I mean, if people, I don't know. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do. Give myself a week. So I lost all of my tutorials. I downloaded all the ATEM mini tutorials. It was like 200 gigabytes. And I put them on all my different external hard drives. But the problem is, and I have no idea how this happened, but when you go into the folder, it's replaced by my exercise folder with some other stuff. It just got replaced and deleted, and I lost all of it, which isn't a really big deal. It took a while to download and organize. I can watch the stuff on YouTube. It's just that I like watching the stuff when it's already, oh look. Oh no, that's my ferret. I thought it was a mouse. I see mice running around my kitchen all the time. Somehow my ferrets don't bother them. Yeah, I can just watch these videos, these tutorials. And I was watching the tutorial last night because last night when I was done with organizing my house, the next thing to do is to try to see if I can get my bike rolling. So I picked up my bike on the trainer, not that bike. I can't ride that bike outside because the handlebars are all twisted and mangled. So I pumped up the tire, and then I put on my bike shoes and I started riding it. noticed the bike computer was dead, so I turned it on, started riding, and it didn't register. And then I said, "Oh, that's right. I hadn't touched this bike for years. It had like dust all over it. It's an electric shifters. It's probably the battery's probably dead." So I'm looking all over the bike, and I couldn't find. It's a Specialized Shiv time trial bike. I couldn't find the charger cable. I had no idea where the charger cable was. I took the front cap off. There was just cables. I looked inside where the little water bottle is, where the holder is. There was just some cables, but no loose part. I looked on the bottom. I'm like, so for like a half hour, I'm looking on the internet and the manual. Nobody's saying where it is. They're saying where they are for other bikes, but not my bike. And I'm like, oh my God, no! I'm gonna have to call them tomorrow. So then I looked at the bike one more time, and I looked up, and I ended up finding it. It's up on the top too, but you go down, there's just this little hole, and you pull up the thing and stick it on. So I plugged it in for like 3 hours, and I don't think it charged. Because when I hit the button, there was a red on the left, meaning the battery was dead. But now when I hit the button, there's no red on the left, and it's just a solid red on the right. So I'm going to call tech support, Specialized Tech Support, as soon as I get around to it. I don't know if I'll do it today. And see if I can get them to get that going. And then once the computer registers with the bike, I'm back in the races with the bike on the inside. I'm not going to get Strava because it's $80 a year, and I don't have the money for that. Some people should hook me up with money. Like, if you know anybody with money, I don't know anybody with money, and I don't know anybody with money who would give me money. Like, I'm kind of one of those wow guys. They look at me and people rolling their eyes at me. And there's no continuance with it. There's continuance. Look at my website. If it came from somewhere, it's going somewhere. It's called simple logic. So, you know what I mean? Like, if a website's as big as mine, I'm not just going to stop working on it. Everybody thinks I just quit, and I need to quit. It's like, really? Is that what people do? No, that's not what people do. Nobody has the ability to get as far along as my website. The problem is they don't realize that my website is a website. They think it's a web page because they don't understand how to do clickety-click. Anyway, so I'm going to, what the hell was I talking about? So last night I know that when I watch these tutorials, it's going to come back to me because 3 years ago, God damn it, how long ago was this? When I set up it was back when my original roommate was here. Back when I set up this studio, I remember I got to the point, I was watching tutorials and fixing stuff up. I got to the point where I figured it out. I knew how to work it. I got all the buttons, and that's when I was like, oh my God, I have the power of the gods. But then I got sucked back into my website. I can't remember what project it was, but I got sucked back into my website, and then in the summer of 2022 is when I renovated my house. That's when I got way in debt, and then I rode my bike for a week. But then I got sucked back into the website, and then I got really into money trouble when I got a really good deal on a car, and I tricked myself into blowing $9,000 on a stereo for it. And then 1 week later, my mom gave away $4,000 of my dollars, $16,000, $4,000 of mine. And then that's when shit really hit the fan. So it was like some kind of a curse. So, so I am going to because I was watching this one tutorial, and it was coming back to me really fast. He was pushing these buttons about the ATEM, and I was like, manual, and I'm like, program, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to get the ATEM program on my computer because it wasn't anywhere on there. I have these other stuff programs on it. I have the Rodecaster, the streaming, OBS streaming software, and that other one. But for some reason I don't have the ATEM switcher, and so maybe I deleted it, or it deleted. So I tried to download it, couldn't figure it out, but then I saw a YouTube tutorial on how to download it. And I remember there was some special place you had to find. So anyway, that's the next thing. I have to watch all the tutorials and get acquainted again, and mainly set up my cameras. Make sure that I had to plug in some cameras yesterday. One of the cables from my cameras was just broken, didn't work. So I had to unzip, cut up all the zip ties and test it and figure out it was broken. And then that's why I had to buy another cable to replace that, because I used that cable, the one that was working on one of them, on the one behind my desk. And so anyways, I am super duper excited because I already have all this equipment. All I have to do is set it up. So yeah, so I'm going to give myself a week. I think it's Thursday today. Yesterday in the mail last night, I got the three-way switcher for my TVs and zip ties, and I was like, the other one that I got a couple years ago, it had a button. You had to push which button, it would go to which TV. But this one is like you plug it in the wall, and it's like a better one. It has 4 inputs, and all you have to do is turn on the TV, and it already knows which TV to play the movie on. It's pretty cool. And then there was this camera, actually. I don't know where the HDMI to that was. Cable, because I was like, I saw the dangler, and so anyways, I have to find that. I have to trace that, and I'll give myself a week. It's Thursday, so I'm gonna give myself all of this next week and into Sunday, just fine-tuning my studio so that when I do start doing all this stuff, I have the power of the gods with me, and I can take the test. Once I take the test, I'll be free and clear, I think. I think people will give me money. There's no way. And if people don't, see, I've been feeling like I did a video that I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone because I'm the only person in the world with a website. Pretty much that was the title of the video, and somebody commented, and they were like, fuck you, of course there's, you idiot, of course there's websites. And I commented, I'm like, well then show me one. And then he didn't answer, or he said something vague, and I commented back like a day. I'm like, dude, show me a website. I'm serious. Or else forever hold your peace. There is no other website. Because, like if I were to say something like, America's the greatest country in the world, which I did a video about that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And then a bunch of people commented, fuck you, you piece of shit, America sucks. Well, it's like, well then what country's better? It drives me crazy. It's like, if you disagree with me, then what's the country that's better? Don't just sit there and tell me that it's all bullshit. So the guy answered me back, and I was like, motherfucker, you had one job. You had one job. One website. Give me one website. And he goes, oh, I have 2 jobs, man. And I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. This dude is jealous of me. He has 2 jobs, and he thinks that I'm just sitting around doing nothing with my thumb up my ass, and so that's why I don't have a website. So anyways, so how did I get on that track? I'm the only, oh yeah, so I did the video, but now I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone because, and this is really fucked up, for the last 6 months or a year or whatever, I don't even know, man. I was saying where the Temple of Atlantis of Poseidon, the Temple of Poseidon of Atlantis is, and it's so obvious. It is so obvious that that's the Temple of Poseidon of Atlantis. Like, there's no way. And so I'd show everybody who I can, like roommates and my mom. There's only one person, a friend of my mom's, who said they didn't see it. Everybody sees everything. It's obvious. And so I'm getting up on the internet, and I'm like, yeah, the Temple of Poseidon's here. It's so obvious. Like, God damn it. And I tell everybody, and I comment on 100 different videos on YouTube, like every single video that has the word Atlantis in, even the joke videos. I just comment on all of them. And then I went in and commented anybody who talks about Atlantis. And I'm like, yeah, the Atlantis is here, 100%. And you could even download on my website. And I traced the buildings. I traced the Temple of Poseidon right next to it. There's a pyramid that's the same exact size as the pyramid of Chichen Itza in Yucatan. There's a perfectly circle, 500-meter wide circle around it, and it's right in the middle of it. And then there's a perfect, 19-kilometer wide circle around that, which is the size of Atlantis. It's in the exact location that Plato said it was. The island is the exact size, width, and length, and it's in the exact location, and it's clearly an old island. I didn't get a single person to comment back on me. Everybody did this. In person, too. Nobody went, oh, wow, that's Atlantis. They would say, oh, I looked at that, but I don't believe the whole thing. Nobody comments, and then all of a sudden, the government depixelizes the whole area. Twilight Zone time. So now I have another opportunity to find my... Oh, and then I got rejected for the $25,000 loan that I should never have been rejected for. And now, so that's Twilight Zone 3, and now I'm going to get... I might find myself into Twilight Zone Part 4, where I'm taking this test, and I've filled up all the tests on my site. Nobody give me money. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think there'll be a Twilight Zone Part 4, but I'm just saying... It's almost like when I get sarcastic, it's almost like that's what I expect, just because that seems like that's where the trajectory is going. And then you watch Trump supporters, and they're talking about how they need to hang Biden, and we need to do a civil war, and it's like, whoa, people, our educational system has straight up failed us, 100%, because in school, they only care about like butt licking and who the teacher likes and who the teacher doesn't like, and that these are teachers who aren't even intellectuals themselves. And then you pass through school like that, and so then you get like Kayleigh McEnany with a law degree from Harvard up there spewing about how a girl in college who has a cat doesn't know what work is because she's spending all of her time taking care of the cat. They need to make cats illegal. And then Michael Knowles up there saying that all transvestites should be like illegalized and thrown in jail, and Ben Shapiro has $50 million saying that, you know, people shouldn't be gay or whatever. Fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Oh, and I'm not gay, by the way. I just like rainbows. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyways, hopefully I can stay afloat for another week, because I'm going to give myself a week on this. Man, I want to smoke weed, though. Because I smoked 2 joints yesterday, which is $12. Spending this way too much money. So I might just go ahead and buy like a bag of weed, like a dime bag. See if one of these, see, I can get a 20% off if I blow $100, but I don't have that kind of money. And I don't want more than a week of weed, but my tolerance is pretty high. It's not as high as before, though. Smoking 2 joints a day, I did do a downgrade because I started remembering my dreams. I had this really long dream the other day. So, I'm going to, yeah, because last I was stoned and organizing my house and even my studio stoned. So fucking much better, dude, than doing it sober. Because you're not in a rush. You're not in a hurry. When you're stoned, especially in my studio, I'm like, what? What does this do? You know? Yeah, so it's just trippy as hell, man. So I don't know. I might do that. I have like $30 left, I think, because I checked the other day and I think I only got like $15 out since then. I have like 25 or $30 left in checking. Oh, but then I have $410 in savings because one day I did put a little bit aside for taxes before I realized that ain't gonna happen. So I could get that money out and then get a little bit of weed. And then get going on this studio. Watch all the tutorials. Download the ATEM. Yeah, man, I am jazzed. I'm jiggity jazzed, dude. Holy schnitz. Hopefully I won't have to buy too many more cables. Too many more. Because I lost this hyperdrive. One of the things that you plug into the computer to get all the cables into it. It was $100 to buy another one. And I still haven't found the hyperdrive. Like maybe the ferret grabbed it and put it in one of the cages. I need to look through all the different cages. But the new hyperdrive I got actually is better because I use less to get the Ethernet in there for the internet, high-speed internet. I have the internet wired directly to the router. Before I had to use an adapter, but now there's an internet port, an Ethernet port. So I guess a little bit better. The less adapters you use, the better off because there's less wiggling. You know, less chances of it breaking. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. Wish me luck. And if you find anybody with money, man, now's the time. Now's the time to share. Now's the time to acknowledge another person's hard work. Acknowledge that I'm onto something and that I'm a team player. Okay, no more of this. Because if never mind. I deserve my failure. I've never taken the goddamn test. I need to take the test. Oh, let me talk to you about that test. So I did really poorly on the first one, and I'm gonna do really bad on the first one because I've been smoking so much weed. But that's the key. I want to do bad because that means that I could get a good improvement score, and I want to go for a good improvement score because if I can have a good improvement score, that's extra motivation for other people. You know, because then there's less excuse like, oh, I can't do it because I'll suck. Well, it's like, look at my videos. I sucked too, but then I got better really quick, just like you will. So yeah, I don't care about sucking, and I know why I suck. It's because I've been smoking weed, and my brain is just discombobulated, and I haven't really been training for it. I've been listening to music, but it'll come together real quickly. So, I'll take the first one, and then I can start studying by listening to my decades, and then the next one I do better, and then I'll get motivated. Now maybe I'll do one a day instead of one every 2 weeks because there's lots of different ones. There's ADBC, ancient history, and you could even do a future one. So. Just do maybe one a day, and that way I could ask for money that way. I could be like, look, I did another test, see how I'm doing it? And then I'll write them back, and I'll like start pestering people, pestering individual people, individual leaders of all the different educational foundations. And then if I never get money, that's where I can get pissed off, and then I'll start dropping names of the foundations. And I will eventually start dropping people's names. That's definitely not above me, but I would have to get super like broke and pissed off to get to that level. There's a way to change the world and to start just to get people to do things, and even in a not so nice way. Like there's a way to start wars, and it's written in Livy from where they were going to have a fight with Alba Longa on the border between Alba Longa and Rome. Were these two farmers? One farmer belonged to Rome, one farmer belonged to Alba Longa. They got in a fight and they started like vandalizing each other's farms. So they went to their respective kings and they were going to go to war over it. And so I think one of the original, and when they had the war, they didn't even have a war. They had 3 brothers versus 3 brothers, and their Roman brothers killed the Alba Longan brothers, and so they moved Alba Longa to Rome, and they raised Alba Longa. So they doubled the size of Rome. But the way that, I don't know if it had to do with that, but the way that you would have to do a war, if you're going to declare war on somebody, is, first you have your argument, whatever, there's no argument. And so then what you do is you dip a spear in blood, like cow blood or whatever, and then you throw the spear across the border so that it lands on the enemy's territory so that they know what's coming. And then you go home and everybody can kind of prepare. So basically the moral of the story is you boil the frog. You crank up the heat in increments, and you make it very predictable what's coming to them so that you don't slap somebody upside the face before they know what's happening, because then they can get pissed off. If you boil the frog, there's no point where they can be like, oh, this fucking guy's an asshole. All they can be is, this guy gave us a chance, this guy gave us a chance, and now he's pissed and he's dropping our names, and I think I understand why, and I'm not mad at him. Let's just give him money. So that's how you do it. You just incrementally. But if worse comes to worse, I'm not going to start failing. I will refuse to pay taxes, but I'm not going to fuck with the credit card companies, dude. I'm not gonna mess with those dudes. They'll have my they'll nail me to the fucking wall. So I'll get a job if I have to. But then that opens up another can of worms. Is somebody going to hire me? I could get wowed. Wow. I don't, like Black Mirror. Did you see that Black Mirror episode where the lady did sped too much this one day, and then next thing she knew, she was completely blackballed by society because she didn't have enough social points? It's kind of like with the Chinese, because they have that with China, and so then people just persecute each other. They tailgate people on purpose to force people to speed so that they lose the speed trap, so the guy behind them can bust them, and then they get more points. It's so fucking stupid. It needs to be positive based. That's what I'm doing. I'm creating a positive based way to judge people, not a negative based. So, anyways, so that's what I'm up to. I'm gonna go and get some weed, clean up my room, and get going on that ATEM tutorial list. Maximalis. It's gonna be fucking awesome for 1 week. Yeah, so I think I'll smoke weed for 1 more week, dude. And then after a week, I will, after next Sunday, wherever I am, you know, maybe I figure stuff out, Matt. Because, I mean, I could be here for 6 months preparing and still not. It's a rabbit hole just like my website because I could plug in, I have a hyperdeck. So what it's called, and with all these huge gigabyte cards in it, so I could plug in just thousands of videos that I could call up to bring in my little graphics, and so I could get carried away with that. I'm trying my hardest to not do that because I could bring up videos of animals, of history, of videos I like, politics videos, of screen captures of Google Earth, of all the Google Earth stuff I built. Dude, I could get myself in trouble. I could die of a heart attack at the age of 70 before I even do a single video. so yeah, so that's why I mean it. Just let's do for a week, get as caught up as much as you can, and then hit the ground running, jogging, and then you can kind of build it up from there. So or maybe it'll be sooner than that. But I just remember a week kind of seemed like a good amount of time. It's pretty complex. So anyways, that's enough talking. Talk to you tomorrow.